Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Ward. My name is Wardy Ward, and I'm going to be your cool captain on this important episode once again. So everybody get in, sit down, and hold on tight because it's about to go down. I want to remind everybody to smash and hit that like and follow, subscribe button if you don't mind, because that helps us to help you help everybody else. My co-host is in the building with me. Tiki, what's going on with you?
What's up, Wardy Ward?
You know how I do. Trying to make $1.15, dime in a new every day. But really, I've been trying to get my skincare together. You know, it's just sometimes I get the dryness over here, the oil is there. Just trying to get myself together, you know.
Well, we have a perfect solution for you. Our sponsor, Imiru, covers that completely. It's a completely plant-based organic skincare line. It's making its mark in the world of clean beauty. It's for males and females, young and old, all skin types, non-toxic, vegan. So you can find out about them. You can check out the website at www.emiru, E-M-I-R-U, skincare.com.
I'm
That'll
definitely
get you right.
I'm on that. Good looking out. One of the things we say on this show is everybody has a story to tell. We just want to know what's yours. Well, my guest today certainly falls in this category, and we look forward to hearing her story once again for the first time, like it's the second time. This green-eyed one is a proud business owner. She's a lupus survivor, fibromyalgia fighter, and a Betty Boop twin in her part-time life as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Miss Aiesha to the show.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Is Aiesha or Aiesha?
Aiesha. You pronounced
Aiesha.
it right the first time. You have Aiesha.
Okay, all right. I like to get people's name right. So you doing okay today?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm delicious.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm just peachy.
Okay, yeah, I'm festive in a festive mood.
Okay, you know, at the time this recording, the Chiefs had just won a Super Bowl victory. So Aiesha has on her Super Bowl Chief shirt.
Yes.
Congratulations! I know that town went crazy.
Thank you. We're still in party mode. We're still in party mode. Yeah.
Yeah. My friend of mine, she was a big Eagles fan. Oh man, she was devastated. But she's gonna be okay. You know
my best friend is an Eagles fan. So yeah, she called me today. I said I wasn't gonna bother y'all last night because I know y'all licking y'all wounds. So I'll let you. I gave you time to heal.
Absolutely. All right. Well, before we get into the show, Aiesha, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you from, where you live at, and what size shoe you wear.
Well, as you said, I'm Aiesha. I am from Kansas City, Kansas. I am an entrepreneur. Yes, Kansas City, Kansas, but Kansas City. I am an entrepreneur. I am a mom, a grandmother, and I'm just me, pretty much, kind of short, sweet, and simple.
Okay. And the shoe size?
I wear a 9.
Okay. That's about average. Most people are only 7.5, 9. So you know, that's cool.
Well, for me, I'm such a tall woman. It actually is a smaller foot. So yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm 5'10". Yeah,
Okay,
so I'm tall.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Before we get into the meat of this or the weeds of it, I want to ask you about the Betty Boop thing, because that's when I first saw you on Instagram. I said, man, she looks just like Betty Boop. Now, you just definitely look like, are you related, or is that just coincidence, or did you pay $1,000 to have that surgery to try to be a look-alike? You know, they do that, the Kim Kardashian thing. So is that what you did?
Well, first of all, if I had $10,000, I wouldn't be spending it on plastic surgery. But no, I don't, I'm not keen, not that I'm aware of. I cut my hair short and kind of have like the curly texture and the round face and the green eyes. I just kind of look like her by coincidence. So, and it wasn't something I purposely tried to portray. It's just kind of my style. I like the classic Black Hollywood look. So finger waves and things like that, I naturally like it. And one day I had myself made up, had my finger waves, had on my makeup, and a friend of mine was like, "You look like Betty Boop." And I was like, "No, I don't." And they was like, "You literally look like the cartoon." And I started looking, I was like, "Oh wow." you know, some of the pictures and everything. And
Mhm.
that's kind of how it has been since then. I've actually had offers to like do parties and stuff like that as
Awesome.
impersonation, and I'm actually looking into that. So yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I've noticed, I knew a friend who had a brother who was an Elvis impersonator. And so that was interesting. I don't know if he did weddings or parties. So that's something you can look into, maybe weddings or avid Betty Boop lovers, parties and
Yes.
stuff. That would be, yeah.
Yeah, Tiggy showing her age. She going back to Elvis. Aisha's not that old. She's like, who is Elvis? What's that?
I know who Elvis
I
is.
said I knew of an Elvis impersonator.
Okay,
I didn't say I met Elvis.
Right, okay.
Say it's a difference.
Okay. So what do you know about Betty Boop? Do you know anything about her since you're gonna be impersonating since we're gonna be splitting this money 3 ways? What do you know about her?
Of course I know about Betty Boop. Actually her character basically was stolen. She actually, her real name is Ethel. And she was a Black woman who sung jazz. And basically there was a gentleman that frequented the club that she sung at and kind of, well, not kind of, stole her likeliness and made the cartoon. And and it went from there. But there's actually, you know, the real Betty Boop is a jazz singer, Black woman.
Well, I hope you don't tell people that story when you do an impersonation. Somebody stole her likeness. He's a white man. Came and hit us.
You know what? That most of them tell me the history of it. And I'm just like, I know it. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, like yeah, people starting to find that. That's interesting that you say that, because you know they're trying to get rid of critical race theory now, and they don't want people to know about a lot of things in our history. So that might be one of the things to get whitewashed down the line. So we'll see. So I'm glad
She got none of the proceeds from that, I'm sure, huh? Being used as a card, no.
I'm gonna ask her. Remind me to ask her a question later on about money. Next, Aiesha, I want to ask you about being a business owner. Word on the curb is you do run your own business. Can you tell us what your business is and how you got started doing that?
Yes, I do have a small business, Goddess Moon Dips with a Z. I make organic bath, body, and relaxation products. I just graduated last year with certification in herbal studies. And I wanted to put it to use and just using natural, organic, clean stuff to, you know, make products to just, I want to promote like relaxation. I want Zen. And that's kind of where it kind of stemmed from. As you may mention earlier in the introduction, I do have lupus. So I am cognitive of what I put on my skin just because I couldn't use a lot of products, or I shall say I had to stop using a lot of different products because they were making me break out. So I was just like, you know, I was like, I just want something really, really clean that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And so I, you know, it was kind of dropped in my lap, you know, and I went from there, and I was like, I just want to make an affordable product for people that are really into, you know, like nice, clean, organic type of products.
Tell me again now, what are the products you sell?
Bath, body, relaxation. So I have herbal botanical soaks, tea bath soaks, bath bombs, shower steamers, scrubs, body butters. I have some room mist sprays, spiritual baths. I have a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Tell me how that shower one work. I'm very, because I don't take baths anymore, but the shower, what does it do? Just
the shower steamer basically kind of taps into the aroma therapy aspect of it. And basically it's a disc. You put it at the floor of your shower, and you allow the, you know, the water kind of run over it. It activates the fizz and releases the scents, the aroma rather. And it just kind of, you know, allows you to relax, because water is a very healing thing. So, you know, so the healing of the water then smells, you know, whether it be lavender or chamomile or, you know, whatever, it'll kind of promote a thought or feeling and kind of just bring zen and relaxation.
I'm very interested in trying that.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that kind of a product. I would definitely try it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't take baths, which is okay. You know, a lot of people are shower people. So, you
You
know, when
scared
I
me for a
first,
second there.
yeah, that's why I had to clean it up real quick. But a lot of people are shower people. A lot of people don't soak their body, you know, no more because everybody's on the go, go, go. And that's one of the other reasons why I started my business, kind of go back to when you did take a moment to sit down in the tub and just kind of soak and relax and things like that. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, yeah, a lot of people, like, I'm a shower person, so I had to make a product to, you know, accommodate that.
Yeah. What are your
That's a
price points on?
fantastic idea.
What are your price points and what do you, how'd you come up with them?
Price points anywhere from $5 to $50. And $50 is basically, that would be like the goddess box that has like samples of everything that I make. And then the lowest thing being like $5, which is like the shower steamers and a couple of other candles, a couple of other products that I have. And I basically came up with the price points. I kind of did my research online, and I kind of was like, okay, where I want to be. I want to be kind of in the middle. I don't want to charge too much, but I don't want to, you know, short myself either. So that's kind of how I pinpointed, you know, my price.
Okay, here's my next question here. Go ahead, Tiki. I'm gonna ask that mine.
No, I just wonder if she gets steady business, or it's just busier certain times a year and then you have a lull, or do you get pretty much a nice clientele that keeps you busy?
You know, honestly, being quite honest, I started my business in the midst of a pandemic. So I can see being a new person coming into business where it's kind of a roller coaster ride and kind of all over the place. But it's steady. It's steady, and I'm a baby business too. I've only been in business. It will only be 3 years in June, so I'm still a baby business as well.
Yes.
But I can see the growth, and I'm going to stick with it. But around holidays, you know, I see where I get an increase in business, and then also when I'm heavy on doing like the posting stuff on social media, like my little commercials and things like that, I can see, you know, influx on people. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you do the lives and all that? Instagram
I
live?
I do every blue moon. I used to do them a little bit more than I do now, and I really want to get back on that, but I get moments where I need a break. You know, with the social media thing, I disconnect a lot more than not. I rather post like a video reel or something like that, opposed to get on there and talk about it. But from time to time, I will go that route. I also do vendor events too. I do a lot of vending events as well.
Yeah, nice. I was told that you got to get out there and do the lives a lot, and I hate doing lives, but they said that's something that you really need to do. So I'm trying to get better. That's why I asked that question. I'm
trying to get better too. I mean, kudos to people that get on live and be on for 6, 7, 8 hours. And I know people, like, I've seen them on, you know, in the morning, and then they're still on there in the afternoon, evening. I'm just like, that takes
what are they
real
talking
dedication.
about that whole time?
Right. It's something, because it got people in there.
Yeah, they be talking turkey. But the next question is, this is an important question. Do you work with family? And if anybody working with family, know why I asked that.
I actually, my family is supportive. I do, you know, ask them to help me. I definitely try to give, you know, try to pay them a little something or give them a love token or whatnot. But I am a sole business owner at the moment, but I do get assistance, like I said, from family. My mother, I love her to death. Shout out to my mom. She supports me. I drag her everywhere. So that's my road dog. And she helps me out a lot.
Okay. That's good, because I know my sister had started a daycare once, and it was pretty good, but she had family there. A lot of people ain't talking to each other now. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So
it's that money thing. If you ain't careful and don't stay grounded, that money thing can shake up some stuff when it comes to family, friends, even foes. Does. So
And you know, I find a lot of times that family and friends don't really support you that much until they really blow up. I don't know how it is for you, but
same.
Okay.
Same. I have more support from strangers,
Oh,
often more than, you know, family and friends. So yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
I always have to reiterate with them. It's not, you don't even have to spend your money with me. Just share my post or
right,
my
yeah.
website, or tell a friend to tell a
something
friend, you know.
easy, simple
Yeah,
to
I
do.
think, I think people think that they get it misconstrued, like you're supposed to spend your whole paycheck with me. No, just, you
Right.
know, get me out there, you know, because you
Right.
probably know
That's
people
all it
that I
is.
don't know, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot of people, they be wearing like Gucci, Balenciaga, all that stuff, advertising them, but they won't wear, you know, friends. So I'm just like, they only, like I said, it's free 99 to send a shout out.
Or they'll come and be like, hey, I want a discount. Gucci didn't give you a discount, you know what I'm saying? You know, Fendi didn't give you a discount, and you asking me to give a discount. Oh, okay. So yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, I can understand that. So did you envision yourself as being a businesswoman? Just a goal or dream of yours all along, or how did that come to fruition?
Kind of, sort of. I'm still trying to even just figure it out. Just because, like I said, dealing with an autoimmune disease is kind of hard to find like stable employment, because a lot of people are not as understanding. And a lot of people don't understand that I can't schedule my illnesses. You know what I mean? It's something that happens. I could be sick for 2 days. I could be sick for 2 months, you know, or 2 weeks or whatever, you know. And I was just like, I want to try to create something for myself. That way I don't have to depend on an employer to make my money, but I could be in charge of my hours, and you know what I mean, how much income, hopefully how much income I can bring in and generate and stuff like that. So it just kind of happened by coincidence.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did it, because you seem so confident in it, and I definitely, you know, caught my eye. So I know you're doing it. So kudos to that, and keep going on that.
Thank you.
You had mentioned about your illness. I want to touch base on that. I want to jump to that now and come back to the other stuff.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about lupus and what it is and how it affects people. Because you said to like somebody, you can be down for 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of them diseases that is unpredictable. It's basically autoimmune. It's like I said, it's an autoimmune disease. It is basically my body kind of fights itself, if you will. And it like, I guess the best way to kind of describe it, because a lot of people be like, well, I don't understand. Basically, everybody's body creates you know, cells to fight off foreign invaders, whether that be the flu, a cold, you know, viruses, bacterial infections, whatever. People with lupus, our body kind of gets confused, if you will, and it basically overgenerates ANA, which, you know, those are the things that kind of help fight off, like I said, them foreign invaders. Our body get confused, generates too many of those, and our body gets confused and it started attacking itself. So it could attack, you know, your muscles, your joints, your bones, your hair, your skin, major organs. So yeah, that's basically kind of what it is. But it's an autoimmune disease. It's not kin to cancer or HIV. I know a lot of people ask those questions. And yeah, it's pretty strange disease. They call it the great mimicker, because it mimics a lot of things as well. So
I had to look up some information a little bit on lupus, because I really didn't know much about it. But one thing that stood out to me, it says it really attacks women of childbearing age, because the estrogen levels, when your estrogen levels are high. So I guess estrogen has something, it plays a part in lupus and the effects. And
it can,
it was from the CDC.
It definitely can. Like as far as like getting into like the genetic aspect of it, I haven't got dove that deep into it. I do know for sure that normally it affects minority women, especially African American women,
Okay.
but also men can have it. And for women, we started showing the traces of it between the ages of 14 to, I want to say, 45.
Yep, that's
I
Oh,
what I
want to
there's
say
some
something like that.
childbearing women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so
Mhm.
it starts in that realm or whatnot. So yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
You can't get a
Mhm.
woman have no baby at 45. What you talking about?
It's women out here that's having babies. I mean, Janet was in her 50s.
Wow. Well, that's,
Yeah.
I
Janet
could,
Jackson was in her 50s. Yeah.
man, these kids whooping
Mhm.
butt. By the time they get to 13, it's a wrap. You 70. That's another show, though. But yeah, you're right. There are some men who can get it because I have
Yes.
Nick Cannon is probably one of the more famous people known to have that, as well as Seal the singer,
Seal.
Lady Gaga, and Selena Gomez. I know she went through.
Lady Gaga, I don't think she has actual lupus. She has fibromyalgia, to my
Oh,
understanding.
Mm.
You know, but that's kind of the weird thing about, you know, lupus and fibromyalgia. They kind of run so neck and neck with a lot of the symptoms, you know, that is they're not the same, but they almost the same, if that makes sense. Because I deal with both of them. My first diagnosis was a fibromyalgia at first, and then I got the lupus diagnosis later. So
Okay.
yeah, they kind of run neck and neck.
Yeah.
And Toni Braxton, also don't forget about Toni. She also has lupus.
Yeah, she does.
What symptoms bother you the most? Which ones do you have the most problem with?
Mine, well, like I said, it attacks everything. So I mean, it has attacked my heart, it's attacked my lungs, it attacked my liver, my gastro, my skin, my joints, you know, muscles, you know, also, you know, it affects you psychologically. I've had some issues psychologically. And yeah, kind of it's that's kind of thing. It just kind of it almost kind of picks and chooses what it's going to attack and when it's going to attack it. So yeah,
it has to be difficult.
Do you know when the symptoms are coming on? Can you feel it? Can your body let you know? It's
because everybody is different. Like we all kind of may have different symptoms, and like with my situation, I wasn't what they considered a normal case, because my body started kind of showing it like differently. I was getting like really bad bacterial and viral like infections, weird stuff. I just always felt like sick. I was very tired. Like I would break out in really, really bad hives. Like my face would swell up really, really big. Like I said, my stomach was just a mess. And just really like, you know, fatigue. And I don't think people understand when somebody say I'm fatigued, it is totally different than being tired, you know. And I was just fatigued, like just like even just kind of like picking your body up out the bed fatigue. So yeah, so I dealt with that. So like everybody's kind of different. They do provide a list. If anybody's interested in learning more about lupus, go to www.lupus.org. I believe that's what it is, lupus.org, I want to say. And go find the information, go to that website and you can get more information. And it kind of maps out, like if you have like 3 or more of these symptoms, go talk to your doctor, you know, kind of go ask them, say, hey, you know, and you know, you're feeling bad, definitely go look into it.
How do they test for that? Is the blood test?
No, actually and that's kind of the part that kind of sucks a little bit, is because there's not an actual test. They pretty much test for like your ANA levels, and like your inflammation markers, as well as other markers they look for to kind of, you know, kind of pinpoint like, okay, this is what it's showing. And also it kind of show up in the urine as high protein in your urine and things like that. But no, they don't, unfortunately, they don't have like specific blood tests. They just kind of follow markers.
What's the ANA? You mentioned that before. What's the ANA?
That's what I was wondering.
ANA is oh my gosh, you will put me on the spot. Like it's
I can look it up.
I can't. Yeah,
You can, yeah, you can tell us to do our research.
Yeah, do your research.
Can research.
But
Go
yeah,
to
like,
that website, Lupus.
Yes, go
What
to
is it?
that
Lupus.org.
yes.
That's what we
Yes.
do.
But yeah, it what is it's the it's an antibody. Hold on.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I want to say it's the anti-nuclear antibody. I want to say.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it. Please go look it up. But it's in your
When were you
blood.
diagnosed?
I got diagnosed. It'll be 12 years. So it's that 2011, March 14th, like 2011. I want to say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an anti-nuclear antibody.
Oh, so, okay. So I was okay.
Yeah,
I
she
was
got it.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Whew, I was like, give me a second.
I know. I do it all the time. Your brain is like Google. Once you open up a tab, it's eventually gonna find it. So yeah. But,
yeah, I mean, well, I talk about it quite a bit. I do. I have the pleasure of speaking at certain engagements and things like that. So yeah.
People aware.
That's good. I know people have a lot of questions on that because I didn't know. I don't know how often is this a rare thing in society?
No, it's unfortunate. It's not. It's just a simple fact of, like I said earlier today, they call it the mystery disease or the great mimicker because it can mimic other things and be lupus.
So
So it's exactly. I mean, I feel like a lot of people get frustrated with it and just be like, I'm just going to deal with being sick. Just because I almost was to that point, but I was so determined because I'm like, something's wrong. I know it's not in my head. I know I'm not crazy. Something's wrong with my body. And I was adamant and it took me a long time to get a diagnosis, but I was just like this, I'm not having a good quality of life and it's diminishing. I have children, like something's wrong. And so,
That's good that you know yourself because as I stated before, Serena Williams had told them that she was having some issues and complications during her pregnancy and her doctors didn't believe her, but she was adamant and ended up saving her life. So I'm glad you're aware of yourself as well too. We'd also
stay on.
Go ahead, TP, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. Got to stay on them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a guy. I don't like going to the doctor. I mean, you gotta dang it, drag me there. I'm not going, dudes, they just do bad.
But y'all have to do better. You have to do better, especially our brothers, because just the rate of colon cancer in our brothers is alarming. So it's so important. It's very important. You gotta do what you gotta do. Test or life.
No, it's a tough call. I don't know about that one. Anyway,
why is it a tough? It shouldn't be a tough call because only you and your doctor know what test you got to go through, and it's over. It's only a few minutes, but it could be life-saving.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll talk to the brother at the barbershop, see what they say about it. We're gonna have a meeting to talk about it.
Thank you for saying that anyway, Aiesha.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like, I don't know, but you had also mentioned before that you thought maybe you might be on the spectrum for autism. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
I am unfortunately, a lot of things are being brought to the forefront when it comes to like mental health and things that, issues and things of that nature. And I grew up in a time where, that wasn't a big thing, but I'm definitely pro counseling. I go to counseling sessions because, like I said, obviously dealing with autoimmune disease is pretty heavy, and just some of the traumas I've gone through in life in general. And I am kind of one of them late diagnosed people. The first thing that I got diagnosed with was ADHD, where like I can concentrate, but then there's some days I cannot concentrate. I have to work really, really hard at concentrating. My brain is always thinking about 50 million things at one time. And I just was, I kind of told my doctor, I was like, look, my brain needs to slow down. I was like, I don't know what's going on in there, but it needs to slow down. And then, as I may mention, that's one of the effects can be an effect of autoimmune disease, messing with you, psychologically. And like I said, mine just kind of came out of nowhere, but putting the pieces of the puzzle together, in childhood, certain things that I don't like. And, even, speaking with my mom, she's like, yeah, wow, okay. But then I have a grandson who is autistic as well. And so just kind of learn about it and like learn about neural divergency and things like that. And like my whole family, like we probably all are neurodivergent. And those are people that's kind of on the spectrum one way or another. And like I said, I'm a late diagnosed person, being in my mid 40s. That was kind of one of the things that, I got tested for and did the thing. It was like, yeah, you're borderline on the spectrum. And I was like, but it makes sense, so yeah, I'm part of that neurodivergent family. Deal with like textures, sometimes too much sound, too much light, certain things can be overstimulating. So I've, found myself kind of have stepped back from time to time and just kind of like quiet, just be by myself and be alone, even to the fact of like how I put on my sock. It has to be on my foot a particular way. Otherwise it would drive me crazy all day, or, me seeing something that's out of place. I'm like, I need to change that. Like that's bothering me. Like, oh my God, I got to fix that. So just certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that like in school? Because I know, they didn't have the resources. They didn't understand it. So they didn't have the resource to deal with that. Did you get labeled as like lazy or
talking too much
or difficult or okay.
Talk too much. I got in trouble for running my mouth. Talk too much. She talked all the time. So that was my thing, just not be able to stay focused and want to talk and what I'm saying, or whatnot. But not knowing that you deal with it, I think subconsciously I kind of, I don't want to say cured myself or entertained myself, because I love sports. So I was high into sports, into dancing, so, I think that kind of, I was able to run off some of that extra energy, and things like that, like unintentional, so, but for the most part, it was always kind of, I talked a lot in school.
Now you said you talk a lot. That's interesting, because I would think that people would have like a fear of social situations or public speaking or being an extrovert, but you seem so outgoing. I guess you kind of.
I am an ambivert. I am both. I'm an extrovert and an introvert.
Who or what?
Ambivert. That means that you have the qualities of both. It's called ambivert. I have my moments where, yes, I'm the life of the party. Then I have my moments where I'm an extrovert and I'm in the back of the room in the shadows of the party. It just kind of depends. But yeah, that's kind of the beauty of the spectrum. And I think a lot of people have to realize, like, the spectrum is big. Y'all might be on the spectrum somewhere.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I know, honestly. Yeah,
okay,
you know what I'm saying? Just because we have, unfortunately, when things started surfacing about, autism and things like that, we only visualize it like one certain way. You know what I mean? Like
the extreme end of autism.
Exactly. Just like illness. People look at me and they like, you're not sick, you faking. If I could flip myself inside out, you like, God, no, that sister's going through something, so that's the same thing with, dealing with on the spectrum. And it's so broad. It's so broad.
Yeah.
And I'm happy now they're getting to a point where they're kind of unraveling it, or what we say, going down the rabbit hole, because it's so broad.
Yeah. That's a good point you made about doing sports, because I saw a show the other day on this dude. His name was Chris Jackson, but he became Raul or Doof something. He used to play at LSU, then he went on to the league and they kicked him out because of his religious beliefs. But he said he had that too. And what made him a great basketball player is he missed a free throw, he's got to keep shooting till he get it right. He had to keep running the drills until he was right. So I think that's kind of what it is. You almost become a perfectionist in some areas.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. I might be on the spectrum, because I like to vacuum every morning. I don't know why. I just like to
see. And believe it or not, that could be, just a little tinge of OCD. Like I said, because it's such a,
OCD.
it's such a, like I said, and that's kind of the beauty of learning this stuff, you know, staying on top of what's going on as far as like medical, you know, discoveries and stuff, because it's so broad. It's so broad.
That is a good point. Well,
and unfortunately, before we get off that subject, I was saying not to mention a lot of people that deal with some type of neurodivergency or even being on the spectrum some type of way, they get overlooked because they want to automatically say it's a behavior issue. And that's a lot of why a lot of us slip through the cracks, because nobody did the further research of, okay, well, why are you just hopping out your seat? Or why are you just blurting out information? They always was like, oh, it's behavior. And that's another issue that, you know, that is a problem. So yeah.
I dated a girl like that. She would just blurt out stuff all the time too. Wouldn't let me get a word in. So I think she was on the spectrum too. So
Might be.
I'm gonna go back to her. I shouldn't have broke up with her. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. My next question is: now you're obviously an attractive woman. So you had, on your page, I saw you had mentioned something about the pre-girl diaries. I want to talk to you about that, as well as how it was dating with the conditions that you mentioned. So first, tell me about the Pretty Girl Diaries.
Actually, I'll put that out there, and I think I'm gonna do it just because I have a lot of people that you know, inquire like, when you gonna do it? You know, I'm anxious to hear your story or whatnot. And I think people will be shocked, you know, just because people have a certain thought process when people are, you know, are attractive or whatever. Me, I just feel like I'm regular. I honestly don't see what everybody else see. I'm just me. Maybe it's because I'm a person that is grounded to the point I know my internal beauty means more than my outer beauty. So that's that. But, you know, because I've gone through life with that title of being a pretty woman, pretty girl, whatever, people just don't understand like the behind the scenes of really what it is to be. And it's not what people assume. They think that I can get any man that I want and things like that. And that is not the case at all.
You don't think you get any dude you want? You can't get the dude you want?
No. And a lot of men don't approach me either, believe it or not.
I've heard that men won't approach women if they think they're attractive. That's probably true. So you got to be the aggressor in that situation?
Sometimes, yes.
So you want somebody, you catch your eye contact, you stop and back up.
I mean, if a gentleman's attractive, I'll definitely, you know, I will approach. I'm not afraid to approach.
I heard that.
I'm definitely not. I'm not, you know.
What would you say to said beautiful gentleman? Say you saw Flavor Flav walking down the street by himself. What you gonna say to him?
I'll be like, excuse me, I'm not trying to be. I'll be like, excuse me, I'm not trying to be weird, but I think you're very handsome. You know, do you have a lady? You know, and if they like, no, I'll be like, well, you know, well, can I get your number? Because I would definitely like to talk to you. You know, and that's kind of yeah. I go for what I want. Yes.
Are you one of those women who's not afraid to ask a dude to marry him if y'all done been dating for a while? Or is that just gender roles?
You know what? I don't know. I really can't answer yes or no. Okay, you know, just because, I don't know. However the mood, you know, goes or whatnot.
No, you're in the situation, right?
I'm not, right, but I ain't doing it in front of my friends and stuff. I ain't doing all that now. It'd be a conversation we'll have.
Right, yeah.
That's some self-respect.
You ain't about to video me on bended knee in front of
yeah. You just show up together, we married. That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have a problem if a lady asked me, because if y'all dating, I mean, I think that's wise on a woman's part, because you don't want to play that waiting game. I mean, I know one, my friend, she dated a dude for 25 years, and he ended up leaving her to marry a girl in 6 months. And I mean, it happens. So, I mean, so how was you were married before?
Yes, I'm divorced. I was married for 10 years.
Okay, 10 years, a decade. You was a veteran. You learned some stuff. What did you learn about yourself during marriage? Did it change you? Did you grow from it?
Oh my God. So my marriage, you know, not to get heavy, but my marriage was so like toxic and unhealthy. So I lost myself. But coming up out of it, I got to know myself on a different level on you know, how strong I am. And I had to, you know, even in the midst of being broken, like it allowed me to put the pieces together and like really go to the root of things. So as bad as my marriage was, because I am a DV survivor, when I came out on the other side of things, you know, kind of like I say, like putting myself back together, I was able to start from like the root, you know, and that's when I first started counseling and, you know, going through my healing journey and putting myself together and learning like, okay, you know, I do have a strength in this, you know, I do have good moral character in this, you know, and things of that nature. So I definitely learned a lot for sure.
Yeah. When you
For
said
sure.
the domestic violence piece of there, were there symptoms before you got with him that kind of led to, or okay.
That's why I wonder if there were indicators.
It definitely was some indicators. It was a lot of red flags that I ignored. And it was because I always want to see the good in people. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in love with somebody, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to come to terms like this person's just a terrible person. You always, you know, it's almost like you, I don't want to say make excuses, but you're so convicted to, you know, okay, well, they're gonna grow out of it because we were young. So, you know, that was my mentality. Like, okay, he's young, he just needs to mature, he's gonna grow out of it. But it got worse, you know, progressively worse. And I just, like I said, I was just kind of hell bent on, I wanted a family, you know, I wanted my children to have a 2-parent home because that was something that I didn't have. And I want to give them all the things that, you know, I didn't have. But then, like I said, that light bulb came on. I was just like, this is not healthy for me nor my children. So I had to get up out of there.
Yeah.
Very similar reasons why I went through bad divorce myself too, but very similar reasons for staying. And just like, and I was 16 years old when I met him. And I felt like I'm never going to find anybody if I don't take this chance at 16. So yeah, lots of red flags, but and then you, just like you said, you ignore them. And I'm like, no, that's not really red. That's got an orange undertone. So that's a red orange flag.
Or you live on that, or you live on that wish factor, like, you know, well, I wish for things to get better and, you know, things of that nature. So
yes. Good for you for coming out on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank the creator for sure.
I've been working with some DV survivors and so forth. I just wonder, how does one go on around family, and how do you keep that in and keep it away? Or did you open up with them? I know you said you and your mom are close. Did you kind of let people know about that, or?
No, I mean, I let people, like anybody in any regular relationship, you let people know what you want them to know, and then you put on a facade, you know, like everybody does. You know, unfortunately, women that deal with DV, we get really good at learning how to cover bruises and, you know, putting on, you know, mask of, oh, I'm happy, everything's great, knowing that you were up for hours arguing, being shoved around and things like that. And that's kind of, you know, what happened. That's kind of basically kind of what happened. I just kind of lied, not only allowed people to see and know what I wanted them to.
You know, but there's shame in that. I don't know why we feel shame, but that's what we feel, shame or embarrassment that we have to go through. So
I've had those
because you're ashamed and embarrassed, you know, even embarrassment of like, how did I even get in this situation? You know, you be embarrassed, like you know, especially if you're smart and you're witty, and it's like
you feel like a
you
fool.
know,
Are you guys friends now? You and the ex?
Absolutely not.
That's a no, huh? I know sometimes people get it together, and one guest told me, he said anybody can work out any problem. He says really a breakdown in communication, and people have been known to go circle back and remarry their ex. So if he got himself together with this, I
mean, and it, you know, and it depends on the caliber of what type of, and I hate to even do this because I don't like titling people, but what type of monster they are. And unfortunately, I married a monster. So I could never, ever forgive him for the things that he done to myself and my family. So I could never repeat it. I wish him well. You know, he has to answer to the creator. And that's kind of what it is. I don't wish him no harm, no foul, but I don't fool with him and never will.
You
So
sound like
yeah.
you done. Wow.
Yeah, I'm being nice. I'll just say that.
I see you.
I'm
You
being
get
nice. I can
careful
say
with your
more.
words.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah. But
Okay.
no, if it was if there was some different circumstances, you know, it could be different. But even with that, I forgive him for my own freedom. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And my
Right.
own
Mhm.
healing.
Mhm.
But I'll never deal with him again. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's where I'm
Mhm.
at with that.
Okay.
Mhm.
I can respect
Preaching
that.
to the choir right there. Yeah.
I had some situations that I was in, and I got, well, I didn't want to talk about it. It ain't about me. I was going to tell you about this girl slapped me one time, but we'll talk about that on another show. Let me ask you this. So where are you at now in the dating? You ready to date now? And if so, what are your expectations of this guy? What does he got to do?
Yeah, yes, I am ready to date. And just pretty much like you asked earlier, did I learn some things? And I absolutely learned some things. And one thing, just the importance of having a strong, solid foundation. And I kind of feel like there's levels to, you know, building up to a, you know, marriage or, you know, whatever long term. And I feel like the first thing, the foundation is communication, healthy communication, open communication. Then I feel like then I feel like you move to a friendship. Because I want to date my friend. I want us to be able to talk about the comfortable and the uncomfortable things, you know, and it don't become weird. You know what I'm saying? Then I want a relationship, you know, and then I want the partnership. And I feel like a partnership is a marriage, you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of like, for me, those things are important to kind of go those steps. And, you know, just kind of build those things, but mainly healthy communication, you know, being in love with your friend, you know, and then building from there.
Okay. So you don't discriminate, do you? Because I know a lot of passport brothers going overseas getting these women. Do you care about black, white, Hispanic? I mean, if they fit your box, you in there?
I love my brothers. I love my brothers. I love my brothers, but I'm open, you know what I mean? If I do have my preference, I would like to be with a black man. But I'm not, you know, I'm not opposed to, you know, if someone like I said, if I do cross paths, whether I'm attracted to him or he's attracted to me, and, you know, he's not a brother, like, and, you know, he's like, hey, I'm interested. I'm not opposed to it. So yeah.
As long as your essentials are met, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Was your father dark skinned or lighter?
He's brown. He's brown. My she's fair like me, and my father's kind of he's like a reddish brown color. Okay. So yeah.
I was just curious as with you, like a lot of times girls like to date their father, I believe Tiki said that before, or somebody like that, or afraid of.
Yeah, really? That's true. My father's very, very, very dark. He passed away 5 years ago. He's very dark, man. But that's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to dark.
And you know what? And me too. My dad is not dark, but I like darker complexion. Like
I like dark.
The lightest for me is like a kind of like I say a brown kind of caramel color, all the way to like a dark skinned man. So yeah. So same. I would say the same. Yeah.
And what type of guy you want? The guy a construction worker or CEO? You want a blue collar guy? What you
know what? Honestly, I'm open, you know, as long as he's doing right, you know what I mean? That's all I care about. You know, it's not, for me, it's not how deep his pockets are. To me, it's how your soul look, how your heart look, like what's your morals, you know, where are you spiritually, you know, things like that, you know, are you open to elevate and learn, you know, and teach me, you know, and lead me, you know, those are the things that are important to me. Just because you can't, love is a feeling, it's not a price tag, you know, so those are things that are important to me. So yeah, I'm open, you know, he can work from the boardroom to be a janitor. I mean, just being honest, just as long as he's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I
think we have the same checklist, Aiesha.
Women checklists tend to be longer than men. Men only have like 3 or 4 things. When y'all have a whole plethora of stuff. Y'all can
She
take
didn't
this
say
off,
that
take
many.
that off. Well,
She didn't say that
said a
many.
few. She said a few. You got to run the tape back. I was right. I stopped. I got a hand cramp out about the 8th one, but I'm just saying. Sometimes, but I get it. I get it. I read the other day that you better off if you don't fall in love with somebody. Say, I just want to marry her. I don't want to be married, but I like her or I like him. It said you're better off if you're in love with the idea of being married, of committed to someone and the value that brings and what a relationship is. And then say, okay, this is what I want. Now when I find that person, I'm gonna fit that person and then go from there, because otherwise you got to be on all the time. You can't have an off day if they're just in love with you. You're not, because you're gonna have better and worse, sickness and health. And you're not looking at that whole picture. You can fall in love with their potential, but you're gonna be living with their reality every day.
That part, yeah. That's yes.
Yep.
So, but okay, so I'm glad you showed us that. So to people be listening, they might call and ask me about you. We know we got this whole laundry list of things that she don't do. So don't want from a dude. So that's good. All right. So did you have another question this round before I move on, Tiki?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Again, with Aiesha, and we're talking with her about everything she's been through, from being a business owner to surviving, all types of things that everybody goes through, but she's doing it her way, and we're very proud of her. We're going to move to my favorite part of the show called Getting to Know Your Rapid Fire Questions. And this is a fun section. We just ask a few questions. So you just tell us the first thing come to mind and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
First thing I'm going to ask you is, what's the best movie you ever watched?
The best movie. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a hard one. I like several different movies, but okay, the best one I'm gonna say is Brown Sugar.
Yeah, that was good. And yeah. I thought for sure I always ask people about Love Jones or Cooley High.
Love Jones. All them Love and Basketball, like that whole kind of genre.
I know that
love
one.
them all.
Love and
That's
Basketball.
why I say it's so hard.
Yep. See, Tiki don't know about these movies. She don't know one of those movies. That's what you name. She never saw Love Jones. She didn't even see Cooley High, so that's what I told her. But
what? We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk offline,
right.
and we might have to do like a look at movies or something offline together. Get you caught up.
Man.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good.
But it's about you, so let me keep it moving. What's something that you don't understand about men? If anything, you seem to have a good grasp.
Why y'all ask for things that y'all not ready for?
Such as?
I mean, dealing with like commitment. A lot of y'all ask for certain things that y'all not ready for.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. I can give a guy answer. I mean, I didn't talk to the guy committee to get approval on this, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of why we do that. Men like to chase, and that's all fun and games. But when you get the woman, she stops running and she'll turn around like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and give him a chance. I'm gonna talk to him. Now the dude like, oh shoot, this is getting real. Now she like me. Now I gotta do everything I said I was gonna do. Now I gotta show up. I gotta do flowers, card, and candy, plan it. I wasn't really planning on this. I was expecting the chase to last a little longer. So, that's why Steve Harvey talked about that 90-day rule and all that stuff. You gotta let the dude come to you, because the dude, he'll change for the right woman. He'll change, because sometimes, might not be what he wanted. He might not like you, but it's the getting to know you phase. That's my
Okay.
What do y'all think?
This is an older, how the older generation put it. So a friend of mine told me her mother, she said, you run, but you run real slow so they can catch you.
Run slow.
Just let them catch up, but just keep running. Just let them catch up.
Yeah, that may work. But sometimes I think when you get older, I don't know if you really want to play those games, because sometimes you just know it's right. I think if people go through some stuff, you can meet somebody that y'all kind of know. Yeah, you've been through it. I've been through it. Let's go chill on the beach in Hawaii for a couple of weeks and then come back and hustle on this business and do it again.
Exactly. Yes. Okay.
Some people don't grow up. So a lot of men don't grow up because they got options. All right. One side point I just want to add. I found out that twice as many women have kids than men, which means multiple women are sleeping with the same guy? That's just food for thought. Next question. Oh, this is one of my favorite questions here too. $5 million or 5-minute conversation with Jesus? 5 million or 5 minutes with Jesus?
5 minutes with the Creator. I want to talk to Jesus Daddy. So I want the 5 minutes with the Creator.
Right. Okay. That was a tough one. You thought about it for a minute.
No, I want to word it correctly because I'm like, I want to talk to the head. I want to talk to God.
You can put a whole bunch of chips with them dips with 5 million. But okay.
You could, but I mean, if you talk to the Creator and ask for abundance, it could be granted still. If you ask for it, even with the conversation.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, let me juxtapose that and make it 500,000 or 5 minutes with Jay-Z.
500,000.
Right. Yeah, I had nothing. He couldn't tell me nothing. You're right. Okay. Since we talked about movies, I want to throw this one in there. I want to give you which is better, Love Jones or Best Man?
Wow. Okay. Oh my God, that's hard. Okay,
I'll make it tough.
Yeah, you did. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna say Love Jones because that's the blueprint to even get a best man. And I dibble and dabble in poetry. So yeah.
You want to hit us with some or that later?
You will be banned. You'll be banned.
Okay.
Oh, 50 Shades of Grey poetry, huh?
A little bit, it's clean, but it's sexy though.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to that. Worst job you ever had?
I tried to work in fast food. It ain't for everybody.
I know that's right.
Not for everybody.
What happened?
Yeah.
What made you quit?
I wasn't equipped. I just wasn't equipped. It just wasn't my, it just wasn't my world. Just entirely, to slipping on greasy floors and dealing with customers and, with the taking orders and stuff. It just was a lot. I just was like, yeah, this ain't me. I'm a retail girl and I'm okay with that.
How would your mother describe you if she was talking to us on the show? And we said, tell us about Aiesha. What's she like?
She would say, she would say, oh, my mother, what would she say? Being honest, she would say, oh, my child, my child. She would say that I'm definitely, I'm headstrong. I'm a strong person. I'm loving, and I'm about my business. That's probably what she would say.
Mm-hmm. You said you're headstrong, but you said earlier that you want a guy who can teach you. Would he have a challenge trying to teach you, or he got to know his stuff? He got to know his stuff.
I mean, you can't tell me that the cloud. Just tell me, hey, the cloud or the clouds are white. Okay, well, let's see. Let's study this.
So he can't come to you and tell you, hey, we're gonna take all our money and gamble it in Vegas. We put all the money on 7.
Wouldn't work.
They will do that on you. They will try you. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Here's one: iPhone or Android?
I was an Android girl to start out, but I really like the iPhones because they have more apps. Yeah.
Tiki, any comments on that? She don't want to let go of Android. She's not letting go. So I understand.
Hey, I'll be there with you. I would have been there with you, sister, but my kids, that's who got me out the Android world. They was like, Mama, we need iPhones.
I know everybody says. I probably would love them, but I'm not familiar with them. So
but once you get in the groove of things, it's addictive.
You'd be like, how did I ever make it without this? So
literally.
I told her. This is a 3-part question here. I'm gonna need 3 names. Okay. 1, somebody you could mentor. 2, who's your best friend, knows you really well. And 3, somebody you look up to. So number 1 is, who is somebody you could be a mentor to?
I could be a mentor to like young women.
Okay.
Young women. I could be a mentor of young women.
Okay. And who's your best friend? Who's somebody that really knows you?
My best friend, her name is Kelly. Kelly, and we've been best friends for over 25 plus years.
Okay.
So yeah.
How'd y'all meet?
We met in high school. We played sports together. And obviously we went to school, and just we kind of seen how people was kind of shifting around high school, and we was just kind of looking like people changing, not for the best.
Yeah.
And we were, kind of with us, what you see is what you get. And we kind of seen people moving funny. We gravitated to each other, and we've been inseparable since.
Okay.
That's I call her my best sister friend.
Day one.
Yep.
Who's someone you look up to? It could be a celebrity, it could be your family members.
I look up to my grandmother as well as my mom, but my grandma, because she's the OG, over my mom, but she's not here, but she still has a lot of things that she deposited in me that still reigns. So definitely my grandma.
Okay. Would you marry for money or love?
Love.
Okay. And do you think Black people deserve reparations?
Yes.
Okay, that was quick. Didn't think about that. Okay. Last question in this round for me is, who do you have a crush on now? See, she's smiling. So some name came to mind. I know she knows because she thought his name. She said it. So you could tell us because he might listen.
I'm not gonna say no names, but
Do he know?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay. Where'd you meet him at?
We've been knowing each other for a very, very long time.
Okay. All right then. Well,
from school.
That's a good name. That's
from
good
high
name.
school. From back in the day, he was the man.
Even further than high school.
Okay.
I've been knowing him since I was like 12, 13. Yeah.
When you smile when you said his name, that's an indicator that you really like. Say his name. I mean, think his name again. Let me see if you smile. There she
I'm
goes.
not gonna tell you.
Okay.
She got a little pink tint to her too.
Man, oh my gosh, she really like this dude. I sure hope he listens to this, because man, she will pop that question on him, so he better be careful. All right. So we're at the end of the show now. Before we wrap it up, a few more things we want to do here. We're going to ask Aiesha too. Is there anything that you wanted to clear up before we end, or touch on again, or further explain before we wrap the show up? Did you get it all? Did we get it all right?
I think y'all did good with the line of questioning.
Okay.
I think you guys did really well. I mean, I say what I mean and answer the questions. Honestly, I'm pretty transparent. So yeah. I said what I said.
You said that. That's what you said. Yeah. Can you let the listening audience know where they can find your social media footprints, or your store, or your personal Instagram or Facebook, if you would like to?
Yes, my Facebook, you can find Goddess Moon Dips, and that's DIPZ. I'm also on Instagram, Goddess Moon Dips LLC. And my Instagram is, I think it's Green Eyed One. That's on Instagram too. And it's spelled fancy, Green Eyed One.
Okay. All right. And again, Tiki, did you want to say what's our sponsor's website again too? What's ours?
Yes, absolutely. It's www.imiruskincare.com.
Okay.
Non-toxic beauty products.
People got a couple things they got to check out. 2 products out there, and Black businesses booming. So I'm going to go ahead and give my final thoughts on this before we go ahead and go. And my final thoughts today is about change. Change is something that everybody must endure. Just ask butterflies if you don't believe me. I've heard that one person who's not going to accept your growth is the person who has to change the most to stay in your life. So while you and your changes are going through their metamorphosis, you can ask yourself, am I buried or am I planted? You make the decision. Thanks again to our in-studio guest, Miss Aiesha, today. And we thank everybody for listening to What's Up with WarD podcast. So until next time, peace.